What's good, y'all? I've got a very different take for what I want Ledian to be in this ROM hack. I know a hell of a lot of people want Ledian to be just a physical attacker. They want bug and fighting type. They want Iron Fist. They want whatever. They want huge power. And I personally disagree with all of that. Very strongly, actually. I very strongly disagree with the sentiment of fighting type Ledian. Not only are here, look. Bug Psychic genuinely fits a lot more than bug fighting. And if you don't believe me, just hear me out and listen to the video, and I promise at least by the end, even if you still have your own little headcanon or preference for how you would buff Ledian, I think you will still, at the very least, if you do listen to the whole video and hear me out, it's not going to be super long, you'll at least have your opinion changed and think that it's cool. I guarantee you that, okay? Excuse me. So with that being said, before I get into all of this, this is not your average run-of-the-mill ROM hack. I have buffed and changed literally 600 plus moves in this hack. If you check them out right here, it says search all moves here. You can check them all out right here. If you click these little directories in the Google Sheet, linked down below in the description, it'll take you to the various sections of the move sheet, or honestly, you can just scroll and read them this way. There are tons and tons of them, so those are all really important to understand how the Pokemon function now, especially Ledian, with Technician, for which I literally made a Technician boosted guide. So, if I don't get time to cover every single Technician option in this video, check them out here. But with that being said, Psychic type. If you go to, first of all, what Ledian is actually based on, people are always like, oh, he's a boxer, he's got punch and gloves. Look, Iron Fist, I don't know what the hell they were cooking, giving him that hidden ability. The Pokedex literally says that there's like 2 entries that talk about the punches, right? No, 1. No, there's 2. Okay, there is, no, is it 1? It's just 1. Oh my god. Just 1 out of like the 30 dex entries here talk about the punches. And you want to know what it says about the punches? It says the power of each individual blow is piddly. It's a fucking ladybug. Why do people want it to have huge power? Why do people want 120 base attack Ledian? I hate the idea of it. It goes against everything that Ledian is, and it's a lot less unique. We already have bug and fighting types in this hack like Heracross and Buzzwole. Meanwhile, there is not a single bug and psychic type. The Pokemon that people usually want to be bug and psychic type makes no sense to be bug and psychic type. It's Venomoth, which is like, its whole design is based around being poison. It's literally called Venom Moth, and its entire Pokedex is all talking about the venom. And the poison that it has. And then Butterfree is another bug psychic type that people like that I also think is stupid, but it's not as bad as Venomoth, at least, because Butterfree isn't like, it's not like very strongly poison vibes. It's just a butterfly. So, like, while bug psychic Butterfree is dumb in my opinion, or at least makes infinitely less sense than Ledian does, it's not like as bad as Venomoth. So I'm not going to roast that one too hard. But if you go to the Pokedex, literally every single Pokedex talks something about space or this glowing powder or stars or starlight and all that stuff. It's literally screaming psychic type. And if you look at its design, it's got that little third eye. It's got those giant like bug goggles. I think it's based on some type of like Japanese, what's it called? Kamen Rider or something like that. I don't know too much. Somebody can correct me in the comments. I'm not saying that gives a psychic vibe necessarily, but it is like this kind of planetary space ranger type vibe. And like I said, the only Pokedex entry that talks about physical Ledian is 1. It's 1 dex entry. There's a reason this thing had 35 attack. Look, initially, I had him as a purely special attacker, but with a little bit more bulk. But instead, I figured, let me satisfy the people who do like physical Ledian, because I think it's cool with Technician. Technician makes a lot of sense, because if you read the Pokedex, again, it talks about aiming to win by quantity rather than quality. Obviously, Skill Link would also fit, but it's not as good as Technician because of all the new Technician boosted options you have in this ROM hack. There are some incredible ones, which actually make it 70 base attack worth using, funnily enough. I would say, especially earlier in the game, physical Ledian is great. Later on, it's more of a niche thing. Keep in mind, in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite and instantaneous EV training items and infinite ability capsules. So Tinted Lens, you're mostly only ever going to use special attacks with Tinted Lens because of your higher special attack stat, which fits very well, again, with this like weird levitating, I mean, he's lightning because he flies, but like this weird space vibe that Ledian has going on. But yeah, all the Pokedex, if you see on screen at all, talks about, stars flickering in the sky, scatters a glowing pattern, the number of stars in the night sky grow its star patterns, and stars fill the sky, Ledian live in numbers. This Pokemon uses the light of stars as its energy. It's literally all, I'm not even going to read them all because they're all the same thing. They're all talking about starlight in space, all right? Very much Psychic vibes. Fairy also kind of fits, but Psychic is right there. There are also, another goal of mine in this ROM hack is to not only to make all Pokemon unique from one another and stand out and be fun and viable, but also to essentially have one Pokemon of every type combination. And in my opinion, the only candidate for Bug Psychic is Ledian. There's no other candidate. I don't care. Like Venomoth is stupid. That's I don't care. If you like it, it's a dumb idea. It makes no sense. It goes against everything that Venomoth is. Butterfree is like whatever. Okay, sure, I guess Bug Psychic Butterfree, but Ledian is right there. I don't get why people. I don't see this take enough, and it bothers me because of how obvious the Bug Psychic vibe is for a ROM hack. Obviously, in the real games, like Bug and Flying is fine. It's just a Ladybug, but you know, it's got that whole space thing going on. So that's why I chose the Bug Psychic type. It is the only Bug Psychic type. It's very unique. Bug Psychic does come with some really useful resistances as well. It's funny because what am I trying to say here? It actually like has some really good defensive traits. It does have a common amount of weaknesses, but like that's not a big deal in a ROM hack when you're mostly pivoting around on predicted attacks that the AI is using on you. So you do have a 4x resist to fighting, and you resist grass, ground, and psychic. So that's all really good. And that 4x resist to fighting especially is super valuable. You also have a great Spadef stat. You have reteachable roost, so you can be a great utility Pokemon with good utility moves. You know, all types of really fun things that I don't even have time to get into, but you can see them all on screen. But the main thing I want to talk about here is Technician. So Technician works great in conjunction with Dizzy Punches, which is a triple hitting move that is 30 base power per hit. So that is a 135 base power physical psychic type move, and that fits Ledian perfectly. Obviously, it's incredible on Ledian. Despite your 70 base attack, the sheer base power of that move, at least in the early game, will make it very worth using. And I'd say later on, special Ledian is kind of going to outclass physical Ledian unless you've got like an adamant nature. Not that physical Ledian is unusable late game, because you still do have Technician First Impression. First Impression being a 60 base power move that always crits, so that is also 135 base power with Technician, and it's obviously priority, and so it's a TM. So that what that means is you can teach that for specific boss fights and, you know, take out something faster than you or whatever. Even though your base attack is low, because it's stab and Technician boosted, it's still doing a lot of damage. So that's a really nice option. You've got a lot of other great physical Technician boosted moves early game. So I'm going to cover those, the physical ones first, but the special ones are also great. And then, of course, Tinted Lens is incredible with the special sets, especially. Tinted Lens also allows you to not have to run coverage moves at all, although you do get some really good ones. You can run purely utility moves. You do get Lunar Dance, which functions like vanilla Quiver Dance used to, while Quiver Dance is just special Dragon Dance. So Lunar Dance is insane. You know, you get all types of fun things. But yeah, Dizzy Punches is very powerful. You have Think Fast and Influx, as well as Silver Gale, which are all priority moves, you know, which are Technician boosted. Comet Punch is essentially a Fairy type Bullet Seed, so that's a good coverage for early game with Technician. Finishing Blow is very strong. It's roughly 80 base power with Technician, but it's stab, and it'll give you a +3 attack boost if you knock the opponent out. So with your newfound speed stat and Technician, you can really go to town with Finishing Blow. You could even technically use Tinted Lens Finishing Blow on a physical set if you wanted to, because with those infinite EV training items, you can switch around physical versus special. I would say, again, early in the game, you're going to be running Dizzy Punches for a while, and then once you get like the stronger special moves, I would probably rather gravitate towards Tinted Lens special sets. And the Technician special sets are still good. You have good Technician special options, but first I want to finish covering the physical ones. So you have Covet and Knockoff, which are 90 base power coverage moves on the physical side. Power Up Punch, 75 base power with Technician. I already covered how great First Impression is. That's mostly it for physical, right? It's good. It's good with Dizzy Punches especially. And Bug Biting, that's the other one I was missing. Bug Biting is also very strong. That is 105 base power with Technician because it hits twice. It's 35 base power per hit, so that's really nice. As for the special sets with Technician, you have Infestation, Silver Gale, Siphon, and Influx. Silver Gale and Influx are special priority moves, while you have Infestation, which is 75 base power with Technician. Gust on Ladybug for the early game. Speaking of, Ladybug's great for Melee Island. It'll evolve before Totem Morocco in it, which is nice, but Ladybug for like all of Melee is great. It's the only Pokemon in the game to get the screens by level up. Otherwise, they get it via TM later on in the game. Like, what is it? Around Brookwood Hill, you'll be getting the screen TMs. But Ladybug having screens for Melee Island, for Totem Gumshoes, for Hala, for Dulce, whatever it is super valuable. You also have Moonlight at level 7, which is a reliable recovery move, obviously. Obviously, they get Roost later on. So you always have that reteachable option, but for early game, you do have reliable recovery. Most Pokemon don't get healing moves until like the early 20s, so having that for Melee Island is super valuable. You also have Technician boosted Siphon, which is essentially Bug-type Draining Kiss, even better than that. Struggle Bug is 90 base power with Technician, Air Cut is 90 base power with Technician. Struggle Bug also drops attack and special attack by 1, so as a whole, Ladybug is like super coded for Melee, and its stats are pretty solid too. But mostly just that typing, the 4x resist fighting is super valuable, that bulk with the dual screens, it's all really great. great. Encore is huge. So yeah, Moonlight, it's really bulky, fun to use for melee island. But back on topic with Ledian, special sets, you got priority moves. The most powerful special technician boosted move you have is Bug Bomber at level 46. Bug Bomber is obviously great on tinted lens sets. Bug Bomber, so Bug Buzz is 95 base power, right? Has a 30% chance to flinch, so that's just a very, very good, reliable bug type stab move on the special side. While Bug Bomber is essentially special bug type surging strikes. It's 90% accurate, so that's the main drawback. You would have to use a wide lens with it for a lot of situations to avoid the risk of missing. And a hardcore Nuzlocke, missing can spell death, especially if you're getting hit with a physical move. On the special side, you can tank some hits, and you can probably afford to miss a move if you had to. But that's super fun. Bug Bomber, however, with Technician, so Tinted Lens, it's strong, right? It's essentially 112.5 base power with Tinted Lens, unresisted, very spammable move. It's strong, it's fast, it's got Quiver Dance for that point in the game, it's got Nasty Plot, it's got Calm Mind, it's got Lunar Dance later on, which is just essentially Quiver Dance and Calm Mind in one move. So that's awesome, and obviously Lunar Dance fits very well as well. But Bug Bomber with Technician goes to 188 base power, so that's super, super strong. And definitely worth using Technician on special sets purely because of that. Again, that Technician boosted Struggle Bug is also super useful. Technician boosted Confusion is also nice. Confusion is 90 base power with Technician, so for earlier in the game, that is stronger than Extrasensory. So that's pretty cool. And then on the special side for TMs and stuff for Technician options, you have Icy Wind, which is 90 base power, Charred Beam, which is 75 base power, and will always give a special attack boost, Ominous Wind, which is the same as Struggle Bug, but it's Ghost type, so it'll drop attack and special attack by 1 as well, and that's 90 base power with Technician. And yeah, as a whole, these guys are super great for utility as well. It's not just like offensive stuff, it's great utility. The physical defense that is still really bad, mostly because I wanted to have enough base stat total for them to be mixed attackers. But it doesn't matter too much because you just shouldn't leave them in on strong physical attacks anyways. They can take resisted attacks though, like ground, grass, and especially fighting type physical moves. They will be able to live easily because of that resistance that it provides with the bug psychic typing. But yeah, these guys would be an absolute blast to use. It's a lot more fun than the bug and fighting shit. I hate the idea of bug and fighting Ledian. I don't know, it just bothers me. At that point, just keep it bug and flying type, like I don't see why it's fighting. I mean, I guess it's like a Power Rangers. I don't know, it's stupid in my opinion. So if you like that, sorry to go against what you wanted for Ledian. You can always make your own run hack and do whatever you want for it. But this is, very self-indulgent. It's very unique, and I like the idea of bugs like Ledian. It makes a lot of sense. I don't see enough people talk about it as a concept. And yeah, the moves all fit really well and go super well with Ledian's abilities, which are both really fitting. Obviously, Tinted Lens, I didn't even explain the logic for, but it goes without saying the Tinted Lens fits him. So yeah, super sick overall. Very nice utility, very nice offense, really cool abilities, really cool moves, really cool new typing. It's the only one of that typing in the game. So yeah, I appreciate you for listening, and I'll be back for more coming up. Thanks for listening all the way through. Really do. I actually, matter of fact, let me know in the comments down below if you listened this far into the video. Shout out to you. I already know I'm still going to get some comments of people who didn't listen at all or listen to the first 20 seconds and then pause it and say, this is stupid, dislike the video and leave. That's whatever. That's just the nature of being on YouTube. But yeah, peace, y'all. Couple of actually wait before I press stop recording. A couple more physical Technician boosted options I forgot. Steel Wing, that is 90 base power of Technician, and it gives you +1 defense, so that's really cool. And then technically Grass Knot can also be physically Technician boosted because if it's 40 to 60 base power, it'll go to 60 to 90 base power, so that's pretty cool too. But yeah, that's about it. Peace, y'all.